grind our gears, sports, and news you can't believe stuff. Today we're talking about being a real estate agent, getting into the real estate industry, getting that 1099 in, start working on your taxes, and go, man, I didn't make the money I thought I was supposed to make last year. So all of those type of things like that, and we want to tell you why to come work here, Century 21 Right Realty. What's the difference? What's different here than other places? Can you do residential and commercial? Are you stuck doing one or the other? We want to talk about all those things. JJ's on the Century 21 Right Realty Facebook page, monitoring comments. So if you're watching this on Periscope, YouTube, my personal Facebook page, Brad's personal Facebook page, my real estate Facebook page, any of these other, or Twitch or ABCDE, whatever.
You twit face.
I don't know what all these little places are. There's like 30 websites we're live on. If you're on any of them but the Century 21 Right Realty page, go on Century 21 Right Realty Facebook page. JJ's monitoring the comments. And while you're there, if you don't like the page, like the page.
There you go.
All right.
Makes life a little easier.
All right, so Brad, I'm going to kind of ask you questions. We talked about this before. I'm going to kind of interview you.
Okay.
As somebody who's been somewhere else. I've been somewhere else too, but I don't count. It's sad.
I'm told that too.
Yeah, I'm not important. No. So I'm going to kind of, and JJ will ask you a couple questions too. So Brad, what kind of makes Century 21 Right Realty different than other places?
Well, I've been with one other place, and the biggest difference I would say is the training. I learned more in one day than I did in months at my previous place, and nothing negative toward them, but I just get the more one-on-one that I needed, being newer, and just accessibility to. I have 2 encyclopedias that I work with, Sean and Taylor, and between the two is about 60 years of real estate experience, commercial, residential,
about that,
investment, just in all areas. So you have any questions between the two, you're going to get very good answers. And
Encyclopedia Britannica.
There you go. And so that means a lot. I've worked deals. I may have said this before, but I've worked deals with agents that have been in it a lot longer than I have, and just could tell they didn't have what knowledge I had, And I've been asked questions by other agents, and I'm just thinking, man, I learned that months and years ago, So the training is huge because no two deals are exactly the same. There's so many scenarios that can play out. Knowing your financing options. Of course, we're not the ones that do the financing, but knowing what's available, knowing what you can qualify for. I've had people that were turned away from agents saying that they didn't qualify because the agent didn't know what was available, and and then we end up putting them in a house. So it feels good to know that one, we have a good name, our owners are not criminals, and don't plan to be, ethical all the way. What's best for the customer is always priority. And I've lost out on deals advising my clients to wait, or now's not a good time. I don't want to put them in a bad spot where they're living to make a house payment. So I'd love.
So what you're saying is,
I believe I'm answering all your questions at one time.
Ethical, customer focused, right?
100%. 100%.
Always do the right thing,
Yeah.
whether it's good for your pocketbook or not. Always do the right thing because it's right for the customer or client.
Right.
Correct.
I may have answered all your questions at one time.
Man, you did a good job.
I can talk about this a lot. I mean, this is a big thing because it's your career, and I plan to retire from this, and I plan to retire when I'm old because I love doing this. So having my name tied to a name I like and trust, with a company and a family that I like and trust, just, I'm very passionate about it because, this isn't a short-term thing. It's not a hobby.
Yeah. And so, as coming from somewhere else and somebody who studies the market like you do, you see a lot of agents, especially newer agents, that are focused on just being like internet driven or just focused on being a buyer's agent. Can you tell us what the difference is of how we conduct our business compared to how other people conduct their business?
Well, you hit that. A lot of people do focus on the internet only.
And we're on the internet.
Right, yeah. But that's to them. That's a lot of people. That's their lifeblood. Make a Facebook post and then complain that you can't get any business. You can hit hundreds of thousands of people on Facebook, in minutes. But one, they rarely pan out, and two, it's not a personal thing. And even if you do get them through the internet, we strive on customer relations. I have all my past clients. I stay in touch with them. Christmas cards. I plan on doing better on the birthday cards. It's something that I'm playing catch up on. But, we have a relationship. I have a few that will still call me and ask me for, do you know a good plumber? Do you know somebody that remodels homes? And they call me instead of Googling, and that means a lot that they trust me, and two, they see me as a go-to, and that's important, so just that personal relationship, and, it's not just a transaction, so.
Yeah, that's really, really important. Mm-hmm. Something that you haven't got into, but you're starting to learn. So we do everything here. We do residential real estate. We do commercial real estate. And I don't just force one thing or another on you. If you want to dabble in something, I'll let you dabble, and we'll teach you how to do it. And not only with the training that we have, Taylor and I provide on a one-on-one basis, but Century 21 University, which is included with Century 21, has just vast amounts of knowledge also if you want to sit in the classroom. So there's education to let you be a commercial agent. So you can learn both sides of the business. You don't have to just say, hey, I'm a commercial agent. Mm-hmm. One thing that I see a lot of new agents make a giant mistake in is they want to be buyer's agents. Mm. I don't train anybody on how to be a buyer's agent. I train you how to be a real estate agent. Yeah. If you want to go list a house, let's go list a house. If you want to go sell be a buyer's agent, go represent a buyer. But whatever your client or customer needs, let's teach you how to take care of them and go be able to handle everything that puts in front of you. Instead of having to go, I'm sorry, I don't do that. Let's call that guy. Yeah. So let's talk about that right now. Then secondly, Century 21 is the most recognized real estate company in the world. We're in 82 countries. We're the largest real estate company in the world internationally. Second biggest in the United States.
Yeah, second or 6 out of 7 continents. Right. And if the global warming keeps up, we'll take over the 7th.
That's right. And
come on, Al Gore.
And after all these ghost agents are gone, we may be the #1 real estate company in the world. So we don't have any ghost agents here at Century 21 Right Realty, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, another thing in this business that I've seen a lot, and I'll even say this personally, I'll be candid about it. You see a lot of agents jump from company to company over just a commission split alone. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to an agent that was formerly here for years, just earlier yesterday, and we were talking about how his year went last year. We're talking over some things, and we talk a lot. And he goes, well, in 5 months of being with y'all last year, I sold more in 5 months with y'all than 7 months somewhere else. Mm. So just because, and he made more money in those 5 months here with a different split than he made with a better split somewhere else, because it's not about split. It's not about this or that. It's about that personal connection and how to actually learn how to do the business, not necessarily what you get paid on each transaction, but what you get paid on that 1099 at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So that's something you got to take into account too. So top producers retreat every year. Brad, you can talk all about this.
Yeah, it's fun. We've hit different islands or tropical destinations a year. $3 million producer and up, get a free trip, first class flight, luxury resorts. For me, the best I've been on. I never have vacation much, but it's well worth the hustle and bustle to to get out there and be able to relax for a week and then come back and finish out the year strong. Yeah, so once the sunburn wears off and
JJ,
get rehydrated.
When are you going to go on that trip with us?
I'm shooting for this year, actually.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a good reward for the hard work. It's it's always nice to get recognized, and that's a heck of a thank you right there. So it's nice, little vacation.
Awesome. And what about business partners, referral partners? Does Century 21 Right Realty make you use a certain company or certain people? If you have a relationship with a certain company, but they're not the preferred person for the company, do you have to use that preferred person, or do you just use who you feel the most comfortable with and who you have the best relationship with?
Right. That's one thing I really like. That's one thing that stood out when you and I first talked was, there's nobody required for us to use. He put me in front of a few different people that he likes, that he uses, and some people reached out to me. I mean, I've met a lot in this business as far as lenders, title companies, inspectors, and we're encouraged to get our own relationships, and which I think is great. It's always good to have 2, maybe 3 that you stay in touch with or that become your preferred people. But, I wouldn't like to be told to use one certain person because I might not work well with them. I might not like how they do business. And so I like being able to have that freedom and encouragement to choose who I like to work with.
Awesome. And as far as technology goes, do you have a CRM? Do you have any kind of type of lead generate? I know we just talked about how we don't really promote that internet lead generation stuff, how we want to teach you how to use a customer-focused, relationship-focused business. But do you have internet lead generation, a CRM, websites, all that stuff? Do you have that stuff here?
Yes, everything you would want. Personal website, company website, CRM, lead generator. More than I probably even use that I even know is available. And you have the online C21 University, and everything you need at your fingertips. And then for me, I'm the type that can take the course online, but I still have to talk about it afterwards and either get clarification or make sure I fully understand it. And so that's another thing. A lot of companies will have the online stuff. I don't know whose is best. I've not seen all the others, but I know ours is more than I could ever tap into all of it. But afterwards, you've got somebody you can talk to, clarify, or you might learn it, but you learn how to use it, how to apply it to your business. So again, it goes back to the leadership here.
Yeah. And then, so you get certified coaching here also, right? Mm-hmm. You don't just get some jack teaching you a class. You get taught by an actual certified real estate coach, correct?
Right.
And that's included just from being here, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I've talked to others who, they almost have to pay just to get FaceTime with their broker, let alone get answers to their questions. You got to track them down, make appointments, where we have phone calls, stick our head in the office, and of course that's not to say, you do work as well, but if it's not right then, it's shortly after. I've never waited probably more than an hour, if that long, even 20 or 30 minutes for either a call back or a text back or, whatever. So I've never been left wanting as far as information goes or any of my needs, So we have some people that just need to cry sometimes, and that's part of it.
And we close the doors and let them cry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
I'll add to it in the fact that you answered my question last night, and I just texted you like, hey, I need help with this going on. What's the next steps for me to cinch this deal? Mm-hmm. And I know I have a plan of attack going in actually tomorrow with my deal. So
yeah, and I actually I've helped a agent write a contract at 10 p.m. one night. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've helped me late at night before too. And then even to add to that, when you have that at your fingertips, it keeps you from filling in the blanks on your own or answering questions you don't know the answers to on your own, which can get you in big trouble. Lawsuits, literal lawsuits. And of course, even worse is losing that client or losing the trust in the client. So, when you don't have somebody you can talk to or that can answer your questions, then it leaves you out in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah. All right. And the last thing that I want to talk about is when you have an idea, you come to me with an idea or you come up with an idea, do I give you the ability just to say, hey, I think that's a great idea, let's do it, or I think that's a great idea, but let's tweak it a little bit, or do you just get shut down and go, no idea for you, get out?
No ideas. 1 year. No, I've come to you with several things. You know.
I think you even came. The BS show is Brad's baby.
Once we had the name,
yeah,
you know, it just hit me one day. Brad Sean BS. But yeah, it's you're always looking to separate yourself from the pack, or come up with something. It's hard to think that everything hadn't been thought of yet. A lot of stuff is just regurgitated or tweaked from what somebody else has done, but yeah, there's nothing better than having ideas heard, and usually, we collaborate, iron it out, and put it into motion. Yeah.
And what about community service type stuff? You don't ever want to be like somebody that brags about community service or is outwardly emotional, because it becomes self-serving. But are you allowed to do community service stuff and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. Encouraged to do that. Coat drives, helping out Second Harvest, homeless. We have one that's passionate about the homeless. And so, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot going on around here, and we're encouraged to be in any of it. We just, I'm the top. I don't like to
brag. Yeah, me too. I don't.
It's not why I do it.
That's right.
But we'll talk about it if you want to talk about it.
Serve humbly.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the special edition of the BS show. If you're interested in getting into the real estate industry, it's not all Cadillacs and big houses. It actually involves some work. So you can't just go, hey, I'm going to make a bunch of money the very first year. It's just.
And see, I was told when I got into it, I'd be having much more golf and much more money, and that hadn't happened yet. So make sure you talk and get questions answered, and don't get misled.
Yeah, don't get misled.
They'll dangle that carrot in front of you, and it's a carrot you can't reach.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Get realistic expectations. If you're in the real estate industry already and you're going, man, I like what I hear, I just want to hear some more, call Brad or myself. His phone number is 615-519-3339. And my phone number is 615-838-0653. And we'll be glad to help you out if you want to get into the real estate industry, or if you want to make a move in the real estate industry. We'll be glad to help you. And so, to end the show correctly,
we'll have our playoff music.
No playoff music today. It's not our normal show. We're not doing playoff music, but I'm still going to throw the piece of paper through the hoop. And we're out.